Yo!
Kia ora!
Kia ora tātou tamariki mā kei te pihia o koe kei te pai.
Hey!
Kia ora. What's up? It's the holidays now, and it's been 3 days, and I think we've gone up to a lot of stuff recently.
Yeah?
And we thought, the sun's out, we're feeling good. He's not sounding good.
Yeah, I'm not sounding too great.
Because he was partying last night. But what can you do? So we're going to give a couple of bits of advice about what you should or could be doing on holidays to enjoy yourself.
Because it's what someone needs in their life.
Yeah, man. Because I always feel like if you get to the holidays and then about halfway through you realize, man, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I feel
and then
that.
you get all sad. But if you realize the only time that you actually feel anything is right now, why not be as happy as you can in the moment?
Exactly.
So, here's some things that you can be doing to start off having some fun in the holidays. First of all, boom. Macklemore brought it to us in lyrical form. Hipsters continue the tradition of shopping. Now, I am not one for consumerism mainly, which is very ironic because I love clothes. But if you're actually feeling like you want to, jazz up your threads, op shop. Because A, you're probably helping towards a good cause,
Yeah.
and B,
true, yeah.
there's stuff that you won't find anywhere else. Like, I've got an Ever Summer Launch shirt right now, and that was just op shop, $6. I don't know, US equivalent, maybe $4 or $3 US
Yeah.
for a legit Ever Summer Launch shirt, which is pretty tight.
It looks good. Like, you guys don't know the half of it.
You don't know, you make maybe 33% of it.
Yeah.
Third of it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're getting there. You're almost
You're almost there.
being up it.
There you
What you could do,
Mm.
alright, I'm laying it down.
go. He's later.
Um,
Fine.
Yeah. You can learn a new skill. I mean, because in New Zealand, for our holidays, we have 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks, and we have them 3 times a year. Then we have our 6-week holiday.
We're pretty lucky actually in that respect.
Yeah. So you've got 2 weeks. You can learn a new skill. Like if you want to get better at cooking, like start off small, maybe bake some cookies. Then work your way up, make a whole sponge. Once you've made the sponge, maybe go on to something. Maybe move on to savoury food.
Yeah.
Maybe make a nice pasta dish.
Yeah.
You mentioned a very lovely pasta dish in the previous couple of videos, or previous video. You don't know yet, but
You might know.
might know.
And new skills, such as if you're going away to university within the next wee while, barista course.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do one, and I've never gotten around to doing one.
Barista course. We're in winter here, but if you're in summer in America or anywhere, learn to surf.
Surf, you could skate. Like if you've got nice roads, like nice hills, longboarding.
Yeah.
Like you can carve up the streets.
Yeah, man.
Just be safe,
Yeah.
because you don't want to hurt yourself.
You don't want to hurt yourself
Is
when you're
that-
learning a new skill.
That would ruin the rest of your holidays.
They would.
Like I had a buddy, first day we were like jumping off a water tank onto a trampoline, and off, and then we were doing like rolls because we were hardcore parkour. And so I went, jumped, landed, rolled, and then my mate behind me, he went off, and then he landed, and we heard this slapping sound, and I just thought it was his legs slapping together.
Yeah, it could have been.
And they say, I'm just gonna go see my mum. And then 5 minutes later, they come back out, and his mum's like, I'm just gonna take later to the hospital. He snapped his collarbone.
He snapped his freaking collarbone.
So be safe.
Be safe. But don't wrap yourself up in bubble wrap.
Exactly.
Which, guess what?
What?
They're going to start making bubble wrap that can't pop.
That's not really bubble wrap, is
That
it?
is not bubble wrap. They're saying, I heard it. I heard him. Mr. Birnbaum says.
Mr. Birnbaum.
Mr. Birnbaum says that if you don't start studying math, he's gonna flunk you. Get the salesman. Number 3, do a play.
Dude,
Okay.
experience your arty side.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't even have to be a play. It can be write a song. If you're musical, write a song.
Write a song.
If you're dramatic, do a play. That'd be a good time.
Yeah.
What else? If you like to paint or draw,
Yeah.
do something like that. If you're maybe not good at the artsy side of drawing, maybe if you're good at like
graphic design
or architectural design, you could design a house.
Yeah.
That doesn't even just for the lols.
Okay.
Design a house.
There's a common misconception amongst youths today that any kind of effort that you put into anything is kind of like bad or like dumb or I don't know, any other pretty ineffectual adjective that you can apply to it. But if you actually try and apply yourself, you can actually have a lot of fun. Like, especially in high school, because you're like, oh well, I don't want to be here, it sucks.
Yeah.
But if you actually try, you're not going to like somehow magically leave high school, like be somewhere else if you're not trying. Try, and if you're on holidays, try doing things you've never done before. Like, try something. Like, me and him, we do a bit of theatre together, and there was a community play on, Death of a Salesman, by Arthur Miller. Beautiful, beautiful play, very powerful.
Yeah,
and we both got, even though we've got small parts, it's still doing something. You learn, you meet new people, you learn new skills, you better your skills that you already have, and I mean, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
So, why not try things? There's this guy called Jeff who plays Happy in the play, and he just saw him at the bar last night.
It was, yeah. I did. I mean, not I did.
It was. What was it? The bar?
No, yeah, I did, and it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
So, get out.
Friendship. What do we have so far? We got op shopping, learning a new skill, be artsy.
Read.
Reading is always fun.
Read. And it doesn't mean, like, read Harry Potter or... Okay, read Harry Potter.
If you haven't, read Harry Potter. It's a good
Probably
read.
should read Harry... Probably could read Harry Potter. It's actually quite good.
Yeah.
But read other things. Newspapers aren't bad to read, but, like, read the London Book Review or the London Review of Books, New York Review of Books, New York Times. I don't know. Not New York Times, New York... The New Yorker, I mean, sorry. Read art magazines, read, different things like, go down to your local cafe or something and see what kind of magazines they have on offer.
Yeah.
Because even in those, there is still like, interesting literature that might apply to you. Obviously it might not be like the most, influential, it might not be Bible standards, but that might be entertaining.
Yeah, and like, you don't have to confine yourself and read inside. Like, if it's a sunny day, like if you're in a place and it's really sunny, like, go outside, pull up a chair, get a nice beverage, kick back.
Get some Kool-Aid.
Put on some sunnies.
Yeah.
Put on maybe a hat if you're being sun smart.
If you're an albino, put on
a hat. Put on 3 hats actually, please.
Take a wardrobe and put it outside and sit inside the wardrobe if you're albino.
But then at least you're outside. And just read your book and enjoy your time being not at school and not being confined to a schedule. Like you've got your own like time to do things.
You have your own freedom.
Yeah, it's a good time. Like, I enjoy it.
Isn't it weird how, like, when you're at school, like, you've got freedom, you can do whatever you want, but it feels like it's freedom that's being granted to you.
Yeah.
Because you're being controlled by all this kind of regulations and things.
I remember one of my teachers was saying how, like, coming to school is, like, it's this tradition that we've been, like, tricked to be, like, come accustomed to.
Yeah.
And, like, you come to school in a uniform because it's tradition, and you come to school and you follow the timetable because this is what, for the past, like, 5 years or however long we've been at high school, like, that's just the tradition that we follow.
Yeah. I'm not one for tradition, but that's alright, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. If you've got sand dunes near you, if you read out on the sand dunes, that's a very placid time. I used to read out, I used to walk down the road and nestle myself in the sand dunes when there's no wind, and then just read for hours on end. And these are like activities that you can't, like it's not like you're missing out on other things.
Yeah.
Like, learning to be able to, like, be content with what you're doing in the current time is, like, really important.
Yeah.
So if it's simply just, like, reading in the sand dunes, you can find pleasure in that. That's so much better than being like, oh no, I better check my Facebook because I might be getting a notification from someone else who's not doing anything with their life.
Yeah.
Not being judgmental, but just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I struggle with is that
Yeah, me too.
if I'm doing something that's like not involving anyone else, like say reading or just like doing something, and I'm always worrying about like, am I missing out on like my buddies doing something cool without me? Like, but so I need to kind of work on just being content with like what I'm doing.
Yeah, being content with the now, because like even though you think about things in the past and things in the future, the only time you actually experience them is right now. So obviously, like you could be happy remembering about things from the past, but imagine how happy you were in the actual moment itself.
Exactly. Wise words.
Thank you.
That's right. Okay, another thing you can do, if you've got maybe a biggish like town or city or whatever near where you live, explore it. Like if you haven't really looked around, and like you might have just gone down like the main street or the main couple of streets to like shops and stuff. Like take a couple of alleyways, as long as they're not dodgy, but take alleyways and try find like nice buildings, take some photos, and just like if it's a nice day, there's nothing better than like looking around a nice like town or city and seeing like just really cool things. Yeah,
there's this thing, and I might have talked to you about this before, but it's called situationism, and pretty much what they did is they developed this concept called the derive, which was to drift. And so they would, they recognised that there was a certain, they called it psychogeography, which they realised that cities were planned through a certain kind of emotional geography, and with routes that led to produce the most capital. Like for example, we have main streets that have all the shops on them, and we have like highways that get us directly to where we can spend and consume the most. But what they wanted to do was they wanted to kind of disregard this idea and kind of drift around the city and monitor their own emotional an emotional connection with the buildings and the geography around them in a way that was different to how we normally like interact and operate within a confined cultural environment. So it's really interesting, like, and that's like the same kind of idea as like free running and parkour, and like what Rory said, finding places that you've never been before. Like, you'll be surprised, even if you're in quite a small town, there will be places where you don't normally go because it's not where the geography of the town is actually directing you to go. So like even if it's walking on a different side of the road, or going behind the shop instead of going in front of it, like take back what is commonly thought as not your land. Like there's a lot of public land, and it's not like you can really own land. The indigenous people of New Zealand, the Māori, had a brilliant, they had no actual ownership they had no concept of ownership, so no one actually owned land. They were simply kaitiaki, or guardians of the land. And so if you actually go with that mentality that you don't own anything, that you can explore whatever there is to explore, everything's opened up to you now, and so you can discover new things and go against the kind of ingrained tradition or kind of dogma that the only way forward or progressive or the only direct route is where you're gonna spend the most, consume the most, and perpetuate the system of capitalism. Rant over.
Word.